where you live, what you do above the ocean affects all the living creatures below it.
Scuttle, look what we found!
Human stuff, huh?
To keep our oceans clean, recycle and dispose of trash properly.
Isn't it fantastic?
To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org. This has been a message from Environmental Defense, the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, NOAA, and the Ad Council.
The result is for the team. It's not for myself, so it's good for us to, win, grind it out. Even though we didn't play the prettiest of football, he gave me the opportunity to play Division I soccer, which is what I want to do my whole life. It's a goal of mine to reach my dream of playing professional, and he has made me the smartest footballer I can be.
That's what I want to see. Like, everyone wants to see that confidence.
And a good evening, everyone. Welcome into 209 Sports. I am none other than JD Jeff Dominic. A little bit of a special kind of day, considering it's Wednesday. And normally we do our show on Saturday, but I won't even make fun of it. I'll just kind of say things happened, and we were unable to broadcast on Saturday. So, and then a few things, I guess something happened here recently that we had to broadcast today. Some sort of big game, I guess, Kyle.
Was it a big game?
It may have been a big game. It was a good game.
Very offensive game.
It was very, very surprising. So we decided that, well, I'll say this. Kyle brought it up, and I was like, you know what? I don't have a problem with go ahead and doing a little broadcast show for everyone today.
Sure.
Considering that why we are here. Why we are gathered here today on this glorious of days, that being Wednesday, which means absolutely nothing because it's kind of like
Hump Day?
It's called Hump Day, but it's like, okay, I've survived 3 days of hell, but I still got 2 days more of hell to go.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But anyways, thank you all very much for tuning in. I am JD Jeff Dominic. That is Kyle Hauk. A lot of stuff to kind of get to and a lot of stuff to kind of still digest. I mean, even now, the joke I was actually going to do was at least you didn't pull a Josh McDaniels on me.
And pull out?
Exactly. You knew exactly where I was going with it. But at least you didn't pull out at the last second going, on your way here, you're going, nah, you know what? Hey, Jeff, guess what? Never mind. I'm good. I mean, like what? I mean, you know what, though? There's a big difference. I could understood because if Amy was cooking, it's all good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Amy being your wife.
Most nights.
Most nights. On a good day.
Yeah.
On your good day.
Yeah, when she'll claim me.
Yeah. She'll claim you this weekend. And that's another reason why we're not going to be... It was a big deal to be broadcasting today because you're not going to be here this weekend.
Yes.
Good luck on your trip. Actually, a good friend of mine's going to be there this weekend, too. So I'm like, hell, I might as well just pack up and go, right?
Cheap plane tickets.
No, I'm good. I can make money this weekend. I can make better money this weekend. I kind of need that.
I can have you out in the corner. We can make money every day.
That's not much.
You're right.
You ain't going to make much with me.
Never mind.
So, but yeah, so I mean, considering that you're going to be on a trip this weekend with your wife celebrating your 15th anniversary, congratulations. She put up with you this long.
Yes.
I don't know how she did it because I listen to you guys back and forth all the time.
It's the...
Regularly. I shouldn't say all the time, regularly.
What it is, it's the 11 years before the 15 years of actual marriage. So she kind of worked herself into it, and now if you ask
at some
her,
point she had no choice.
She's stuck. Yes,
it was almost the reverse side of a shotgun wedding, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
but I'm excited about.
Man, this is a good time of year.
You okay?
We're getting over with football. We just had the Super Bowl.
So we're going to spend like the next 25 minutes and some change pretty much talking about it. And we'll take 2 breaks, and then we're going to talk about wrestling. And you roll your eye, or you didn't roll your eyes, but you just kind of gave that big sigh. What's going on?
I don't know. It's no. Exactly. No. It's disappointing.
Well, I understand. You know what, though? There were some good things. At least Raw and SmackDown this week were a little bit more entertaining than last week. Right after Royal Rumble. I said a little bit. I'm not saying they were immensely better. I mean, actually, compared to last week, it was 100% better.
Oh,
Still wasn't good.
No, I see the beginning of some storylines.
I just think that they're taking too long.
to develop.
Yeah.
Or they'll start them and they walk away from them.
What are we saying? We're 2 weeks into before WrestleMania. I mean, 2 weeks into after Royal Rumble, getting towards on the road to WrestleMania.
We're officially on the road.
Yeah. But to see nothing, I think what really irritated me, and part of it was because you and I were just both exhausted last week.
Sure.
And this last couple of days, we probably weren't as bad, but we were just exhausted the last week following Royal Rumble. And so part of that just kind of played into it. But, that was just kind of...
It's an accumulation. It hasn't been picking up speed for quite some time. So
it needs to now.
It does.
It needs to at least... I'll say this. We've got a couple of weeks until... Because I don't know if they feel like, we've got a couple of weeks before things start happening again, i.e. baseball, because we're going to talk about that a little bit later tonight.
Yep.
We also have... But racing is coming around the corner.
We got racing.
No pun intended, but apparently I was pretty good at it. But yeah, you got two things coming up, and I don't know if you're sitting there going, hey, you know what, we got a couple of weeks, we can relax a little bit because we don't have anybody to compete with us other than the NBA, and the NBA is what it is. It's got its own sort of drama, so we're actually pretty good. No, you need to do something now to keep us there, so that way we don't start flipping channels.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So it's
an uphill climb that they need to get a handle on right now.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Pitchers and catchers are right around the corner. Take it how you want, but apparently the way it came out
don't take it at all.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya.
But they're getting ready to. I mean, it's exciting times.
It is.
And
we got basketball tournaments coming up.
Basketball turn. Oh my goodness! There's a big game tomorrow.
I saw that.
So I know you won't be here for it, but if you get an opportunity, watch it, and we'll talk about it because it's going to be a big game. That's going to be. We're going to talk about that sometime when you come back and stuff like that as well. So, but there's Pacific versus Gonzaga, number 13 ranked. Actually, they're saying that they're 11th or 12th now. So they're starting to raise back up in the ranks. It's kind of awesome to see. That's going to be a fun show. It's going to be packed in the Alex G. Spano Center.
Yes.
So, if you can make it out there, definitely come out there for you. I'm trying to buckle everything down. I didn't make anything. I didn't have a rundown because we just kind of went over things, and I was like, sounds good, let's do it, kind of thing.
Oh, no, I was excited. I'm still excited.
Yeah.
No, I look forward to this. This is not only my weekly getaway.
You know who else looks forward to this?
My wife.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do too.
My whole house, probably, You know
what, the last couple of weeks you've had, I get it. This is kind of, like I told you, this for me was my venting.
Yeah.
This is your kind of venting now. It's kind of, let's go do something fun.
Yeah.
So that way we can get out and do stuff. Because, by the way, I almost had Kings tickets here recently, and it was against the Chicago Bulls. It was on that Monday. I was like, you know what? I decided not to go because, one, going to your house and hanging out, but two, we would have just gone and been tired by the time we got back. It would have been 10:30.
It'd have been rough.
It would have been rough, especially for you, especially for me, because I get up early too.
Yeah, we got lost last time when we weren't tired.
I don't think it would have been that bad, but definitely the smell would have been pretty bad. Anyways, but yeah, so I almost did that, but it was an epic comeback. That would have been fun to watch.
It would have been fun to watch
personally,
yeah, because they came back from 20 down. 21 down. Yeah. Yeah.
In the first quarter, come back in the halftime. They were down 14. Then they were down like 6, and after the third, and then wound up winning by 4 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It was a great game. So Kings, I think, are starting to kind of turn things around. If we have time, we'll talk a little bit about that. But the main thing today was talking about the Super Bowl and. Where do you go with this? I mean, it was a game for once. I wasn't there just to, one, socialize, two, watch the commercials. Right. I was there to see, could Brady and Belichick win that 6th ring? Brady's 6th ring.
Sure.
I was there to see if you want to call him a backup quarterback, you can. He's been a starter before. He kind of got the short end of the stick when he got moved to L.A. in the Rams.
St. Louis.
At
the time it was St. Louis.
If you remember, they did the the NFL. I'm trying to think of the name. They do it for 5 weeks through Hard Knocks.
Okay.
And when they first moved to LA, that's when he cut Nick Foles. So he cut Nick Foles there on Hard Knocks. That's when they were in LA.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of put that out there. But anyway, so yeah, St. Louis / LA, right out at that time.
Okay.
He gets cut from the St. Louis LA move franchise, and he kind of got the short end, and then he signs back with Philly. He's going to get paid $7 million next year. This is a guy that I think you were telling me the story about, that he was going to be a pastor.
Yes.
He was kind of moving into that. You know what? This may be just my faith. I'm just going to follow my faith.
Yeah, and then he got the phone call from Doug Peterson, and they brought him back. A coach that
they offer him ice cream.
They might have. I
got to show you that story.
Okay,
it's pretty funny.
But they offered him back. Doug Peterson's a coach that he's familiar with. So he brought him back as a backup to Carson Wentz, and he knows Peterson's playbook, and he's a strong cheerleader on the sideline for Carson Wentz. Though he has just a few more years than Carson Wentz in the league, he has that winning experience. And I think if you're going to have a backup, good God, man, what a backup to have. I mean, he has an NFL record, 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in not even his first full season as a starter.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And he's under contract for 1 more year.
And that was when he was with the Chip Kelly regime at the time, when he went 28-2.
Fast-paced offense.
But I think that it took him a little bit of time. I mean, he is a quarterback that likes that was his style for a little while. He understood, okay, I can do this quickly. Now he had to kind of get back in that mode of, we're not a fast-paced offense. So it was awesome to see him do what he did in the Super Bowl, throwing 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and catching a touchdown. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's take a small break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Super Bowl. Plenty of other things. We still got Hella Dumb coming up. That's at the bottom of the hour, the final segment of the hour. Please stay tuned to that, because I got an update for you regarding something that Kyle talked the last time we did Hella Dumb, but I'm going to lighten things up again as well. So, and he may too. We'll talk about it. This is 209 Sports. We'll be right back.
Some look up to the Man of Steel, and others follow lines in the web. But I look up to my real-life icon, my dad, and calling him anything less than great will be misguided. In his warm arms, I confided all of my fears. And as my time to rear others grows near, I'm reminded that women marry men just like their fathers. And I hope that's true. Anything less, might as well not even bother.
A message from the National Fatherhood Initiative, the Ad Council, and this radio station. Visit fatherhood.org for more information. Have you been a dad today?
My hero doesn't wear a cape or have superpowers. She doesn't slay dragons or kill wizards. No one wants my hero's autograph. She never goes to Hollywood parties, and she definitely doesn't have a star on the Walk of Fame. My hero doesn't try to sell me soda, candy bars, cereal, or cheeseburgers.
You won't hear my hero song on the radio. He doesn't have a crew, bling bling, or a mansion.
You can't buy my hero's makeup line, handmade purses, or designer baby clothes.
My hero didn't win the pennant. She can't do a 360 dunk, and there's no way she'll score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Some of New York's most admired figures are the city's public school teachers. Just ask one of the millions of kids who learn from these heroes every day. For more information on the most rewarding job you can imagine, visit teachnyc.net. Join New York's brightest. Teach NYC. A public service announcement brought to you by the New York City Department of Education, the Appleseed Foundation, and the Ad Council.
In a world where your tires are your only connection to the road, 1 man, 4 tires, free air. An epic battle against underinflation, tire damage, and even tire failure. In the ultimate fight for properly inflated tires, the warrior gives his heart, his soul, to keep those he loves safe on the road. Tires will inflate. Money will be saved. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm a survivor of mannequinism. Mannequinism is basically when you turn into a hard plastic shell. They say it's from not being politically active. For me, it started when I didn't register to vote. And then I stopped volunteering, and before I knew it, I wasn't doing anything. And that's when I found the first sign. A small, discolored hard patch of plastic on my right shoulder. I thought it would go away on its own, but it didn't. It kept spreading. And when I could no longer conceal it with a t-shirt, I knew I had to see the doctor. He said I had this early stage of mannequinism and that my only hope was to get involved, even if it was something simple. So I began reading the newspaper and instantly got feeling back in my arm. I guess you could say I'm living proof you can fight mannequinism.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Log on to fightmannequinism.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Statistics say that 4 out of 10 high school students will drop out of high school, but sometimes the difference between dropping out and finishing is a boost.
I sort of got messed up into gangs, and there's one girl named Maria. She just told me to get my things straight, and ever since then she's been there for me.
10 real-life at-risk students are filming their year, so you can see what it's really like trying to get through high school. Go to boostup.org to see their stories and give someone you know a boost so they can finish. High school is hard. Graduating is harder. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Ever think of light bulbs as being cool? They are if you choose energy-efficient bulbs and fixtures that have earned the government's Energy Star label. They're so hot, they're cool. Because they burn cool and last up to 10 times longer, you save money and oodles of energy. Change a light, help the environment, save some green. The solution is as close as your nearest lamp socket. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
I'm Amila Lee, guard for the UOP women's basketball team. You're listening to 209 Sports.
There's nobody anywhere close to as tall as Rob Gronkowski. I would jam him at the line of scrimmage. I would not let him run freely off this ball.
Brady under pressure. Escapes the sack, launching one for the end zone. It's a jump ball and it's incomplete. And Gronk was there. And time runs out.
It almost looked like he just didn't realize, that being Al Michaels, did not realize that the game was over. And so it was pretty funny to see that, better to hit that little button before it plays something else. There we go. But it was between that when it said anything bad. But it was it could have been an interesting moment just trying to talk over something that I don't know what it was. But it almost seemed like he didn't realize. Oh, guess what? The game's over, folks.
Yeah.
Oops. So, congratulations to Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl 52 championship. This is 209 Sports. I'm JD Jeff Dominic. That is Kyle Hauk. But still a lot of things to digest, and I think everyone, and I think we are all sick to our stomachs by hearing it, but knowing that Malcolm Butler no longer being, or was not on the field for this game, he played one play, and it was a special teams play.
Yes.
And that was it. Knowing that he just, and you could see that, we didn't know originally why he had tears in his eyes during the national anthem, and all of a sudden, they start talking about it, and you know that they had Rowe out there guarding Alshon Jeffrey, and Alshon Jeffrey during that first half was just picking him apart.
Yeah, second half he was, I wouldn't say shut down, but I'd say Rowe did a much better job in the second half. There was a couple of contested touchdown passes that he did a really nice job on. Very familiar with each other as they went to college together.
Right.
At University, was it South Carolina? I believe it was.
I'll take your word for it. I didn't have it in front of me.
It was one of the Carolinas, but yeah. And now, you know what? Isn't it funny how things that come out of New England, everything's real hush-hush. They have a bunch of controversy, but nobody ever really talks about things that are going on in New England. And then all of a sudden, when things like this happen, it seems like it's just a fiasco.
Yeah.
It's a fiasco. You know, Belichick doesn't talk about it. Tom Brady's commented on it. But nobody's, things are coming out of New England's camp saying, he was late for practice. He was late for curfew. He was out doing things he shouldn't have been doing.
He refutes those.
Right. In a statement released by Malcolm Butler, he was with his family every night that he was in Minnesota for the Super Bowl, spending time with his family. He was in on time. He was never late to practice.
How much of that was saving face, because knowing he's going to be an unrestricted free agent right now? I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent. I mean, he's just trying to, are you looking at this, if you're a GM, are you looking at this going, is he just saying that because I may want to sign a perennial, or I would say at least a really good defensive back that can help my team? Or is there more layers to this onion that I need to peel back before I just start making assumptions that egregious?
Rule of thumb. There's this story, there's his story, and then there's the truth somewhere. So, yeah, part of it may be the truth. Part of it may be, New England just not wanting to, because he played 98% of the snaps on defense during the regular season.
Under 98%.
Sorry, 97.6.
Oh, he rounded up. Okay.
Yeah, give it the 98 point.
No.
I mean, come on. Is he a shutdown back? No.
He's really good. Will he shut down certain receivers? Yeah, he can. Absolutely. He's done it all season.
Yeah. No.
But he hasn't shut down everybody.
No, I mean, he's not in a class with Eric Berry or anything like that.
No.
So, it's sad to see. He's a young enough guy. He's going to get a contract somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
And he'll get a good contract.
He'll get a decent contract. Absolutely. He'll get a 5-year contract somewhere. And whoever picks him up, kudos to them. They just won. They gained something. New England's going to lose something.
New England's losing a lot.
New England's losing quite a bit. They lost their defensive coordinator.
Matt Patricia's gone now. He's gone over to Detroit.
Don't worry, Josh McDaniels is there, staying there. So they don't know what they're doing with their offensive line coach, if he's deciding to stick around or if he's going to go ahead and retire again. There are certain players that are going to be probably leaving. The rumor about Gronk, who's still under contract for 2 years. I've heard reports that he's putting things out there. He's trying to get a contract restructured, get more money.
I mean, he needs to get more money. He needs to be paid.
Absolutely.
He needs to stay on the field, though.
That's the question mark.
He hasn't played a full season, I think, since his rookie season. I mean, he's at least missed anywhere from 2 to 3 games
every year.
Yeah.
And in multiple problems, not just one. Mm-hmm. Back issues,
elbow,
arm, shoulder, so...
And he's had concussions now.
He's had a couple concussions. Is he still worth $10 or $11 million as a tight end? Absolutely.
Yeah. Because when he's on the field, he's the best player on the field.
He's money.
We know that Tom Brady's coming back.
It's my quarterback.
No, Terrell, I said we'll talk about you later. But
that's my wide receiver.
He ain't nobody's wide receiver now. He just he's in the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but
Hall of Famer.
Where's he going with that? Who's he going in as? 49er?
An Eagle?
An Eagle?
He might as well now.
The 2 seasons with Philadelphia?
Dallas? He
played most of his career in Dallas.
But Tom Brady is coming back next year, and it sounds like he was full on, yep, I'm coming back.
Yeah, it was.
So there's the piece of good news. Now, whether his trainer's going to be allowed to be able to be with him is a different story. But Josh McDaniel, I have to have a feeling that they basically told him, look, you're going to take charge of this team once Belichick leaves. Belichick doesn't want to coach into his 70s. He's basically said that outright. He's a couple years away, if not just a year away, from hitting 70. So the reality is, I've looked. Looked.
My bad.
I know you're grabbing your phone. I got to make sure you have a laptop in front of you, and yet you went to your phone.
Sorry.
That's force of habit.
I'm hella dumb.
But the fact remains is that as soon as he retires, the rumors are circling, and I'm using a lot of these rumors to put together my own thought process. And my thought process says, is Belichick must be on his way out the door, if not next season, at least within the next season or so.
Right.
And McDaniels is going to be the head coach there.
You see, I've always thought that was the plan, even before he went to Denver, was that they were going to prime him to take over New England when Belichick stepped down. The opportunity came up in Denver. He was a GM, a head coach, blah, 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 blah. He took the opportunity and failed miserably.
And that's where I kind of run with, obviously, him coming back to New England, there was a reason behind it, and him leaving New England initially was a reason behind it, because he must have felt Belichick was not leaving. He is never going to leave. I'm going to be stuck here being an offensive coordinator. I want to at least see what it feels like to be a head coach. He ran Denver and basically didn't have a lot to go with when it comes to Denver. He had Tim Tebow. That was it.
Made it to the playoffs.
Made it to the playoffs with Tim Tebow. I don't know how he did that, but apparently he was good enough to do that.
Well, Urban Meyer won 2 national championships with him.
Yeah, college and pro, two
different stories.
Don't even make an asinine kind of comment like that.
What's my part here then?
That's a clown question, bro.
So, anyways, it sounds like to me that they're going to probably, and I'm wondering if they're going to give Belichick a little nudge to say, hey, well, it's time for you to go. And I'm wondering if they're going to do that next season.
Robert Kraft's not that stupid. Do you know how ridiculous they would look pushing that coach out of town?
But I'm using you're talking about New England. Yes. And that's what I'm saying is that I don't think anything will get said. I think that he will get the undercover push, and he will just go up and save his own, just basically make it look really good, saying, hey, I'm deciding to retire. Goodbye, everybody. And ride off into his own sunset. I think they'll do it.
So he's going to take a Tom Coughlin approach and then go run another team within 2 years?
No, I think when Belichick's done, Belichick's done.
Right.
He's one of those kind of guys. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just...
Time will tell.
Yeah, it definitely will. But once again, it's all rumors that I'm kind of writing my own conclusion to.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's just,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
So,
and as you and I both know, you and I usually are on the same page with the majority of our thought process.
Which is scary.
Very scary.
But I don't know. I'm just that's kind of where I ran with it. I mean, is it perfect? No, but it's just kind of one of those things where what I've seen kind of bugs me a little bit.
Sure.
So when we come back, we'll talk. Let's turn that down just for a quick second. Then I'll turn it back up. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl. A couple things I want to kind of get off the chest and talk a little bit about the other movements that are happening. Plus, don't forget, we got Hella Dumb coming up. And then we'll talk a little Raw and SmackDown right here on 209 Sports.
My name's Rachel, and I'm 10 years old. I like riding my bike, playing soccer, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. My friends will drink, so I will too.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
My parents won't really know what's going on yet. I mean, I'll do okay in school, but when I drink, I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Alcohol affects their judgment and their future, so start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
For more information on teens and alcohol, and to learn what you can do, visit the web at stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Ad Council, and this station.
I know. Being a college freshman is supposed to be tough. But let me tell you about my schedule this semester. All 18 credits. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have American Lit at 8:05 a.m. And then I only have 15 minutes to get to my 9:15 Ethics and Value Theory class, all the way across campus. Then in the afternoon, Calculus 1. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have 2 lectures that go through lunch. Sociology of Families, then Intro to Microbiology. Pre-med. And finally, I have a double lab that ends around 9 p.m. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you.
If a kid will do whatever it takes to get through college, what will you do to send her there? Please support the United Negro College Fund and call 1-800-332-UNCF, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. A public service brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Some people still don't believe that secondhand smoke is dangerous. This is Scott Bakula. Did you know that just being around someone who smokes can cause severe lung problems, heart disease, and cancer? But there is something you can do about it. Call for a free booklet from the Will Rogers Institute. It clearly explains the proven risks of secondhand smoke and the ways you can avoid exposure. Toll free 1-877-957-7575. Institute. Secondhand smoke is dangerous. Proven risks of secondhand smoke and the ways you can avoid exposure. Toll free 1-877.
How can we help prepare our kids for the future? Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. These days, our children face challenges unimaginable to us only a generation ago. We adults need to help our kids find something in school that really sparks their interest and keeps them involved. If that something happens to be music, the child will benefit in so many ways. Playing music in school is a great way to make friends. Studies are showing that kids involved in music are less likely to get into trouble, and kids who studied music find science and math easier to grasp. They tend to score higher on SATs. It has something to do with something called spatial IQ. So get your kids involved with school music. It's a great way to help prepare them for life.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, and the National Anthem Project, the campaign to restore America's voice through music education. Music, part of a sound education.
I'm a guard for the UOP women's basketball team. You're listening to 209 Sports.
I think I like her whenever she comes out and she just does her she's just weird. That being Asuka.
Yeah.
I love the fact just watching her come out, and then my buddy, who I think at some point I have to get you to meet because he has a lot of the similarities of what we do.
Okay.
And I don't think that he would I think that he wouldn't be as the same as us, but I think he does bring off some of the stuff that I think kind of what has helped me become the person I am, which has helped us get along the way we do.
Sure.
I don't know if it's adaptability or what it is, but first of all, congratulations to Asuka. I don't think we haven't had a chance to say congratulations to her winning the first ever Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble.
Phenomenal job.
So, which we can, I don't know how we want to, if we want to even bring it up, but I mean, I thought overall the Royal Rumble was great. I thought it was, I said I would love to see a B rating out of a Royal Rumble. I got more than a B rating. I can get nitpicky about it, but I didn't want to get nitpicky.
No, I think we got a B rating because of the Women's Royal Rumble.
I would say no. I mean, I would say it was above a B rating because of what we saw with the last two Royal Rumble. I thought the Men's Royal Rumble was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought the Women's Royal Rumble was pretty good. I thought most of the matches were pretty good.
I think
some of them didn't make sense on why they played them in certain areas.
Right.
But I thought most of them were pretty good.
I enjoyed the Women's Royal Rumble more than I did the men's.
Yeah.
I like what they did there with their surprise entrance, bringing back some of our favorites that I know that you and I lost our mind about.
Lita especially.
Oh, God.
And she may have just done a somersault off the top rope, but I don't care. It still looked just fine to me.
Oh, yeah.
I took it.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, you're right. Some of the matches did not make sense. Some of the placing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the placement.
Yeah. No, I agree. And we kind of touched on that. So we'll be able to get back into that a little bit more. Let's talk about some Super Bowl a little bit more.
A little bit more?
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
I got some stats for you here.
What? You don't want to talk about the 1,100 plus yards that were combined in the Super Bowl, or Nick Foles for throwing for 360 yards or whatever it was, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, catching a touchdown. How about Tom Brady? 504 yards.
505 yards.
What was it? 4 touchdowns.
3 TDs.
3 touchdowns. No picks.
No picks.
1 drop pass.
1 sack. A QBR of 115. But his percentage, 58.3%. To a 65% from Nick Foles.
Here's the other thing that I saw, and no one really wants to talk about this. Everyone wants to talk about the quarterback matchups, which is fine. They both earned it.
Yes.
You have an MVP, this year's MVP, in Tom Brady, threw for 500 yards, 500 plus. and you had Nick Foles throwing for 360 yards plus, or 374, I think it was.
Yeah, 373.
373. Okay, give or take a yard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you know what really jumped out at me, and no one really wants to talk about it, is the running game. Now, the Patriots did run for 136 total yards. I think it was close to that. If 113, I don't remember. Now all of a sudden, off the top of my head, the numbers are starting to jumble up. But you had a two-headed monster in LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi, and both of them averaged around 6.5 yards per carry, like together. No one wants to talk about the running game, and I'm like, that was a big stinking deal.
Let me throw some numbers out at you real quick.
Okay. Throw them at me, homie.
I'm going to throw them at you. I got you.
Okay, playa.
14 rushes for 90 yards.
Okay.
9 rushes for 57 yards.
Okay.
1 rush for 9 yards, and 3 more rushes for 8 yards.
That sounds like the Eagles.
That is the Eagles. Okay. That's 150 plus yards of rushing.
And how many carries?
Well, you get 23, 24, 27 total carries.
That is roughly about, like I said, it's closer to 7 yards, maybe a little over 7 yards per carry.
Per carry, yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. I think the running game from both teams, where it was a collective effort, there's nothing wrong with that. It should be a collective effort coming out of Philadelphia, by all means, with all the running backs that they have. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
It's Jesus, Maria, and Jose.
That too. But it's like, with they've got 4 or 5 running backs on their roster. My goodness.
And where did Corey Clemens come from over there for Philadelphia?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What an addition. And you talk about putting the right people in the right place at the right time. Kudos to Doug Peterson.
We need to fire him.
No, that's what they don't need to do. If they want to keep winning the East, they need to keep him. You talk about a coach that's been a lifelong assistant, most of it under Andy Reid, who, by the way, just so happens to be pretty familiar in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's a disciple. Yep. Andy Reid disciple. Yep.
And
9 years ago, he was coaching high school. Doug Peterson was.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize certain things like this.
Yeah. No, hey, listen. And, I heard it talked about on Golic and Wingo the day after the Super Bowl. And if there was ever a coach that should have been MVP, right there. Man, he made the tough calls and stood his ground.
How about getting there was no sacks. How about this? There were no sacks until the last 2 minutes of play, roughly a little bit more than 2 minutes of play, but you get my point. No sacks, and then all of a sudden, one of the biggest sacks in probably the history of the Philadelphia Eagles happens with 2 and some change to go. Fumble, and not only that, it was a strip sack fumble, recovered by the Eagles. They kick another field goal. There was only 1 punt in that game.
1. Man.
It was by the Eagles, too. Doesn't matter, but that was the only play that Malcolm Butler played.
Yeah. No, hey, I'm listen.
Does it hurt you that you're a Philly fan or that you're not a Philly fan and you're a Cowboys fan and yet you still you had to
yes and no. Yes and no. Listen, a true Cowboys fan is never going to root for the Eagles.
No, shouldn't.
But a true sports fan, which is what I like to consider myself, is always going to root on the side of history.
Yeah.
To see things that haven't been done or haven't been done in what seems like forever, and you got all these records, and we all know that records are eventually made to be broken, but say it doesn't get broken for 50, 60 years. You want to see that happen. You want to say, man, I remember when that happened.
Right.
And in the past couple of years, we've had a few instances like that. Cleveland Indians, Chicago Cubs, Philadelphia Eagles.
Think about this real quick. I mean, I apologize that I'm stopping your train of thought here.
Okay.
Think about what sports has been like the last roughly year. Just the championship-wise.
Sure.
We had a 7-game series. We saw Houston just win their first World Series title in ever.
That was their first one.
And so against the Los Angeles Dodgers team that I know you hate, you barely can talk about them. And you talk about us being a sports fan. That's probably the one exception. You got your little list.
I can talk about them, but I talk about them biasly. Yeah, granted.
But then you think about basketball. Okay, we saw the Golden State Warriors win another one, and that's fine. But you have that. You have this game that just happened.
Yeah, but you saw the Cavaliers win their first one ever too.
Yeah.
So, man,
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but sports is an exciting time to be a sports fan.
Can you believe that this was still one of the lowest rated Super Bowls? Like in 10 years or something like that? I had to catch myself.
You know what the Super Bowl's become to me?
All about the ads?
Yeah.
For the last 4 or 5 years,
yeah.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
I had 2 commercials that I absolutely loved.
The Eli Manning catching
yes.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Which, by the way, hey, that's another NFC East team getting all the headlines. No, but there was just a couple of them that I liked, and you know what? To me, I think football needs to get back to the football.
People realize that today, or I think people realize that this weekend.
I think so. I'd like to think so.
They do need to address the catch rule. I think that referees. It was nice to see the referees swallow their whistle at the right times.
Yeah.
They reviewed plays, and that's one thing I want to make sure I get off my chest too. You want to speed up the game again, and people are all frustrated about what the referees are reviewing and all this other stuff and why the game is taking so long. What's a catch? What's not a catch? You want to know the one thing that I think will take away all of that, and people will still complain about it? Take away replay.
Yeah.
Take away the replay. Here. Take away the reviews. But people will still be pissed off about it.
Do you know that when we were kids, they took away replay just for that reason?
Yeah.
And then they brought it back 15 years later, as soon as Paul Tagliabue left the league.
Makes no sense.
Okay, so they brought it back. Okay. LeBron James. They brought it back, and they brought it back with stipulations. You have to challenge for the replay, blah, blah, blah. You only get so many, blah, blah, blah. But now, over the short period of time that they brought it back,
they've added their own stipulations.
They've added their own. We're going to review every turnover. We're going to review every touchdown. We're going to, come on, man. Jesus, whatever, and
Jesus, Maria, and Jose.
All that. I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
But to me, I'm an excited sports fan.
We had a good time. It was a good Super Bowl.
I think so. I liked it a lot.
Can a city be deemed hella dumb 2 weeks in a row?
Oh, it's possible.
It's definitely possible. It's true.
It's going down.
It's going down. Hella dumb coming up next.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please, plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
In 1805, Lewis and Clark described in their journals a country teeming with wildlife.
Bison as far as the eye can see.
Rivers churning with fish.
They wrote of scenes of endless beauty and of meeting more than 100 nations of American Indian whose lives were one with our environment. Now, imagine what Lewis and Clark and the American Indians they met would say if they walked the trail today. Would they be pleased?
There are herds of homes where the buffalo once roamed.
Or would they feel differently?
Something must be done to save what's left of this great place.
As we commemorate the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, we encourage you to consider what's been lost and what we can do to preserve what's left of the trail that still winds through us all. Walk with Lewis and Clark and see what you discover at www.lewisandclark200.org.
This is a public service message of the National Council of the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, the Missouri Historical Society, and the Ad Council.
What does freedom of speech mean to me?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Freedom of speech means I can speak out against the majority.
It means I can express my opinion freely.
It's the American dream.
It's the First Amendment. It means everyone has a voice.
I guess freedom of speech is more than a right. It's a responsibility.
A message from the National Association of Broadcasters, Education Foundation, and this station.
That's the Big Dipper over there, and there's the Little Dipper.
Rub the balloon on your head like this, and then it'll stick to the wall.
Brown shoes, brown belt. Black shoes, black belt.
Pucker your lips, leave a little hole like this, blow out, and that's how you whistle.
And that's why radios don't go near the bathtub.
Glasses, you idiot!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For a few quick pointers, visit actagainstviolence.org or call 877-ACT-WISE for a free brochure.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
That's the Big Dipper over there.
Yellow and blue make green.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Come on, Riff! Open your eyes!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For advice, visit actagainstviolence.org. Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please, plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
I'm Amila Lee, guard for the UOP women's basketball team. You're listening to 209 Sports.
So, I have a few things that I need to there's a lot to kind of get off my chest. I've got, this is that time of the night when I start to obviously start slurring my words, and I've had nothing to drink, I swear. But also, this is that time of our show that we start to kind of let loose with our hella dumb moments. And I've had so many over the last couple of days, and actually, truth be told, last couple of weeks. I've held one on. I've held one for as long as I can, and I'm going to have to release it. It relates to your family.
No?
Yeah, but we'll talk about that one in a moment. Because...
Well, be careful. I just told Kylie to tune in.
That's okay. She can tune in. It ain't on her.
Oh, okay.
I can promise you that. But here's one, and here's one candidate, and if I can tune this up correctly.
I'm part of this team. I've been drinking.
This is Kevin Hart. And there may be some cussing, and we do apologize if it comes through.
It was supposed to happen. What happened? You called it. It was supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. Like, we got a great unit. We got a great team. We got a great defensive line. I'm standing behind you. I don't want you to fall off the stage. Hey, get off me. I'm not drunk. Get off of me. I'm having a good time. Get off of me.
Deion Sanders trying to make sure that
tonight. What do you do from here? You know what?
He don't fall over. Kevin Hart.
City, I hope this is an example of what we can do. We gave a fuck.
There it is. Oops. Oh. And they said it on live TV. And what happened, wrestling?
All right, he got to go.
He got to go. He got to go.
What it might be like in Philadelphia for about, 6 or 7 months, Fletcher.
He was talking to Fletcher Cox. And, but obviously you heard it. He said the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Now, on this show, I don't really condone cussing. You know that. Sometimes I play off of a certain program, and if I don't have time to edit it, it happens. Yeah. So, he said the F-bomb. That was pretty damn dumb.
That was pretty dumb.
How about, I said on the backside of the, before the commercial break, I asked if a city can be named hella dumb two weeks in a row. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I do know where you're going with this. Got some gear oil?
No. Oh, no, you haven't heard of this then.
Oh, I have. What are you going to eat?
What you going to eat in Philly?
It ain't a cheese stick, brother.
It's organic. I promise. It's, who thinks of that? Who sits there and goes, you know what looks really good to me? A big old piece of horse turd. I mean, really? And he took a good old massive. He went bobbing for it. It was like bobbing for apples. He was doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this: is that a city thing, or is that just an individual thing?
No, that you're right. It has to be an individual thing. I thought about that, and I knew you were going to ask that question pretty much right as soon as I threw that out there. Because I mean, in this weird era that we live in, the Tide Pod challenge and all this other stuff. Kids don't eat Tide Pods. You dumbasses. But
I don't condone cussing on the show.
Dumbass is okay.
Okay.
And damn is okay.
Okay.
You can't say mother blanking and all that other stuff.
Okay. Fair enough.
You got the 7 deadly words.
Okay.
If you don't know them, watch George Carlin. We'll call it good afterwards.
Oh, you don't want me to watch George Carlin?
I'm going to say right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can pull it up.
I'm sure you could.
Okay.
On your phone or on your laptop, which one are you going to pick?
Both of them.
Both of them? BOF,
Yeah.
Both of them.
We educated.
That's right. So, you're right. I think it is an individual, and I will not put that individual out there like that as far as being able to promote him. He's an idiot. He's a knucklehead. He's the dumbass. That one is okay. So anyways.
What I want to know is whoever jersey he was wearing, I want to know if that football player calls him up and be like, hey, dude, you can't wear my jersey anymore.
You're cut off.
I'm going to need to confiscate that.
Seriously. I mean, so there's that as another candidate. But I really had to say that isn't my hella dumb.
Really?
And once again, it comes from the family.
Okay.
And you'll know exactly where I'm going with it as soon as I start to talk about it.
Okay.
Because I sit there and I think that the reality is that on this show, you and I are the kings of hella dumb. There's just no way that we can really nominate ourselves again.
Okay.
We might, depending on what happens. We do something pretty damn dumb. Yeah, there's a possibility that we're going to have to just say, guess what happened? And nominate either A, B, or both. Both of them.
BOF-UM.
On this show. But for now, you'll know exactly where it's coming from. We were getting ready for I was at your house. We were getting ready for your grandson's first birthday party.
Yes.
We're sitting down, I'm sitting down, and your son is going with us, and he's sitting in his chair, and you looked at him, and you said, hey, what's the name of your in the female anatomy? But obviously he doesn't have female anatomy. You said, what's the name of your female anatomy? And he, without blinking an eye, says Lucy. And I lost it. Not only that, I fell over flipping out laughing. I thought it was probably the most entertaining thing that I did not expect him to say, but I should have expected him to say.
Sure.
So for that being said, I think we are putting your son, at least I'm putting your son, for the very first time in the Hella Dumb Club.
I'll be sure to let him know.
He's welcome. He's there. Because, you know what, here's the funny thing, the other thing too, is that not only did he do that, but I remember just a couple of days ago, I wouldn't say I was yelling at your grandson, because I don't yell at your grandson, but I was more or less raised my voice to him and said, ¿Qué es tu problemas? And without skipping a beat, I looked straight at your son, and I said, what did I just say? And he says, what's your problem? And I started rolling again, because he swears up and down that he doesn't know Spanish, yet every time that someone says something in Spanish, he knows exactly what you say.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's great.
So the fact is that your son has made the Hella Dumb, on my end, the Hella Dumb list.
We have just made rave reviews.
Okay.
On the Hella Dumb segment.
Okay.
From one Kylie Houck.
Oh, that's daughter.
Yes.
That's baby Houck.
Yep, baby girl. Yes. So
what did she say? Did she say anything, or just kind of like that was absolutely funny?
No, she said hella dumb's good.
Okay, good. She don't have a choice because it's going to keep going.
Well, she got a choice.
And she can turn it off. Don't turn it off.
She got a home button.
No, don't turn it off.
So my hella dumb moment for this week is actually a little upsetting to me.
Oh, I got an update for you, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so 2 years ago, we took my great aunt down to I'm gonna put them on blast too. Auto Nation Honda in Roseville, and we went and found her a nice little car. She needed a
Honda.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And so we're going through. We're doing all the paperwork and everything. She has a trade-in. I go get the trade-in from San Francisco.
From what I understand, it was a nice car. I mean, it needed some updates, but I mean, only had 60,000 miles on it or something like that. She didn't drive it very much.
No, she didn't drive it very much. It was under 100,000 for sure. So anyhow, and then I brought them the car for the trade-in, and I brought them the check and hand delivered it. We're going rounds. My aunt can no longer drive. We're working on the car situation. Can't find the title. Uh-oh. She goes, tries to get the title. Apparently there's a lien holder on it. Wells Fargo Bank.
Okay.
Call the dealership. Well, we have in our records that you only paid $1,000 and then borrowed the rest of the money from Wells Fargo. Are you hella dumb? I brought you a $15,000 check.
Wow.
So that's my hella dumb moment. So I still have that. I'm going to end up coming back to that in probably the next couple weeks when we come back on a Saturday. Because I'll have to go out to the dealership and deal with that after I get all the paperwork from the Bay Area, after I get back from my trip.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Right?
We brought you the money. We did all this stuff. I'll only show you $1,000.
Yeah.
Someone going to die.
Well, either that or one of their employees stole $15,000 from them.
Ooh.
So it could get interesting, but that's my hella dumb moment.
Speaking of people that could go to prison off that, here's the other one. Now, last week, I say last week, but the reality is about a week and a half ago, you talked about Larry Nassar and how much he upset you, and I don't blame you for one bit, considering that you have a daughter that for all intents and purposes, if something was to go like that, I think you'd probably be the one that's in jail and he'd be dead.
Yes,
kind of thing. You're looking at it as a father's point of view and father protecting daughters, and imagine the fact that you have 3 daughters. That'd be even rougher, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have any kids. I don't know how I'd react.
Right.
Personally, I don't know how I'd react. I have a feeling of how I'd react. I don't know how I'd react.
Yeah.
When it came down to it. So, anyways, when a father of 3 that has connection with Larry Nassar, considering that his daughters were involved in that whole situation, this reaction absolutely is understandable.
Distraught father have a chance to say something.
Go ahead, sir.
And there may be cussing behind this as well. Oh, never mind. Apparently,
we don't use profanity, but if you have some words that you would like to say, I would like to give you the opportunity to say them.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
I have
Would you do that?
That is not how No, sir, I can't.
Would you give me 1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system works.
Stay down. Stay down.
You can hear what he said right there. He said, I want that son of, and then it kind of obviously blurped it out. But, so the father was pretty close to him. I mean, probably a good 2 feet away from him, from where about being able to reach him to attack him. But it was kind of weird how it started. You know, obviously he said, he was starting to say, hey, I want 5 minutes. And if the crowd and the people in the audience were kind of starting to think that it was funny, his face was stone. Yeah, he was dead serious, and he was ready to go. He was and it was talking about he was facing his sentencing hearing was interrupted by one of the victim's parents attempted to attack him. Randall Margrave is the gentleman's name. And I stand up for that guy. I mean, and the best part about it, here's the best part about it, is that there was a 30-minute recess called by the judge, and the judge came back and she basically said, I'm not going to file any charges against this. She goes, what place in what country would even think about throwing this or keeping this in court? She goes, this should be thrown out right from the start. So I'm not putting anything out there. She's not going to put any charges out there for disrupting her courtroom. I mean, I think that everything that he had was just. I look at it from a non-father looking in, going, you know what? I kind of would feel like that too.
Yeah,
get it all out.
It's man, it's hard as a father, as a grandfather. Kudos to the judge.
Yeah,
because the judge is going to be the judge is the one taking all the heat right now. And I don't think that the judge really cares. And
about him, you're talking about the dad that attempted to attack.
No, I think that the criticism that the judge is taking, for one, not pressing charges or even calling.
She's not taking any criticism from what I heard.
She's taking criticism for the way she sentenced Larry Nassar, which is beyond me. But that father did what I'm sure every father wanted to do.
Right.
And because as a parent, if you can't protect your kids, there's an empty feeling to that I can't even describe. When your kids get hurt, my kids were never hurt.
Almost like powerless.
It's a really powerless feeling. When Austin had his accident, I felt that way. I couldn't fix it for him. You know what I mean? And this is something that these kids have gone through now, and it's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. And I just, I hope that they get the counseling and everything that those kids need. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought I think it was more of a justice kind of way to bring up Hella Dumb.
No, I agree.
But we are the Kings of Hella Dumb. When we come back, we'll talk a little Raw and SmackDown and see what else kind of happens, and we'll talk about pitchers and catchers reporting in a couple of about a week right here on 209 Sports.
How can we help prepare our kids for the future? Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. These days, our children face challenges unimaginable to us only a generation ago. We adults need to help our kids find something in school that really sparks their interest and keeps them involved. If that something happens to be music, the child will benefit in so many ways. Playing music in school is a great way to make friends. Studies are showing that kids involved in music are less likely to get into trouble. And kids who studied music find science and math easier to grasp. They tend to score higher on SATs. It has something to do with something called spatial IQ. So get your kids involved with school music. It's a great way to help prepare them for life.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, and the National Anthem Project, the campaign to restore America's voice through music education. Music, part of a sound education.
My hero doesn't wear a cape or have superpowers. She doesn't slay dragons or kill wizards. No one wants my hero's autograph. She never goes to Hollywood parties, and she definitely doesn't have a star on the Walk of Fame. My hero doesn't try to sell me soda, candy bars, cereal, or cheeseburgers.
You won't hear my hero song on the radio. He doesn't have a crew, bling bling, or a mansion.
You can't buy my hero's makeup line, handmade purses, or designer baby clothes.
My hero didn't win the pennant. She can't do a 360 dunk, and there's no way she'll score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Some of New York's most admired figures are the city's public school teachers. Just ask one of the millions of kids who learn from these heroes every day. For more information on the most rewarding job you can imagine, visit teachnyc.net. Join New York's brightest. Teach NYC. A public service announcement brought to you by the New York City Department of Education, the Appleseed Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Some people still don't believe that secondhand smoke is dangerous. This is Scott Bakula. Did you know that just being around someone who smokes can cause severe lung problems, heart disease, and cancer? But there is something you can do about it. Call for a free booklet from the Will Rogers Institute. It clearly explains the proven risks of secondhand smoke and the ways you can avoid exposure. Toll free 1-877-957-7575, because secondhand smoke is dangerous. Believe it.
Ever think of light bulbs as being cool? They are if you choose energy-efficient bulbs and fixtures that have earned the government's Energy Star label. They're so hot, they're cool. Because they burn cool and last up to 10 times longer, you save money and oodles of energy. Change a light, help the environment, save some green. The solution is as close as your nearest lamp socket.
Let's go now.
Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
I'm Amila Lee, guard for the UOP women's basketball team. You're listening to 209 Sports.
She did that on the first take. One time, boom, done. Have a nice day. Drop the mic. See ya.
Sounds to me like she's a natural.
She's pretty damn good behind the mic and on the court. Yeah, she's on fire right now. Good luck to the ladies heading off to. They're actually in Washington right now, playing Gonzaga on Thursday.
Okay.
Men play Gonzaga at home tomorrow on Thursday. Yep. Thank you. I didn't even realize what today is.
It's Wednesday.
It is. Hump day. Yeah. Like I said, it's like we had 3 days of hell and we still got 2 to go. I don't see where it's hump day where you should be getting excited about this yet.
I'm going to Disneyland in 2 days. I don't know about you.
I'm gonna be here.
Okay. Yeah. You know.
But I don't have to at least be where you're. Well, I don't have to be where you usually are at, so it kind of works out. I hate you for talking about that direction.
I hate you for that too.
Well, sorry.
Little backstory.
We used to work together.
Jeff left me.
I did not.
He left me.
If I'd have left you, you wouldn't be here right now. I left you at work for a regular basis. I'm no longer your work husband. Ask your wife.
Treated me like the 2-bit whore that I am.
Anyways,
you don't even know where to go now.
I'm done. You know,
well,
I'm done in 2 ways apparently. But we got a lot still to kind of cover. We still got we're doing a hour and a half. We still got a half hour to go, right?
Half an hour.
Not even in a half hour. We got 23 minutes.
Okay.
We talked about the Super Bowl. We talked about Hella Dumb. You got a big smile, turd-eating grin on your face, and you're not even in Philadelphia.
I was just told that we are Hella Dumb.
That's nothing new.
That's good, as long as we own it.
As long as we own it. That's all that matters.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Hella Dumb. Anyways, so Raw and SmackDown. That's actually a good segue because it just happened to work out.
Yeah.
But so Raw and SmackDown, and I kind of was we were kind of thinking about, okay, we'll do one part of our segment, we'll do Raw, and then one part of our segment we'll do SmackDown. And the reality is that when we put it together, it's just probably going to be a little bit better because it just is needing something.
It could be a mixed match challenge right here.
What are you talking about? Did it go way over my head, or
bringing it together? Get it? Mixed match.
Maybe. Talking about...
I'm dumb.
Well, obviously. But are you talking about maybe getting a little bit of shaking things up? Can't happen yet. It won't happen until after
It won't happen until after WrestleMania. But earlier we were talking about storylines and how we feel. And this is just... You know what? This is just us being fans and being critical.
Are we nitpicking or are we being critical?
No.
Big difference.
I think we're being critical because nitpicking would be like, man, I'd really like to see this guy and that guy go at it and have a storyline. But what we're saying is this is legit stuff. I mean, as fans, it's out there. The storylines, either they're jumping into it just a little bit and then pulling away from it, or they're going the long way around getting there.
Right now, probably my best example would be the Matt Hardy deletion and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
It's like they're there, but
they've turned.
How are we going to push this, or are we?
Yeah,
they're not promoting it. It's kind of irritating.
It is kind of irritating, and the thing is that their matches are not anything to write home to mom about.
Nope.
And the thing is that both of them, BOF, UM, have a ton of talent. I don't care how old Matt Hardy is. It's still Matt freaking Hardy. He can go. You know, and Bray Wyatt, we all know what Bray Wyatt can do. As weird as that dude is and his character and all that stuff,
he's a great character.
He's a third-generation wrestler.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know, I don't know if they're trying to keep their foot off the gas or whatever to wait for Brother Nero to arrive or whatnot,
or for him to get healthy.
You know, but Jeff Hardy's never been one that stayed on the shelf long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as high risk as he's always been, he's actually been a pretty reliable guy, even through his shortcomings.
The one that I'm kind of intrigued on is the way Shinsuke Nakamura right now keeps on messing with AJ Styles. So it tells me one thing for sure: at Fastlane, you know who the champion's going to be. It's going to be AJ Styles.
Yes.
Because Nakamura keeps messing with him, going, at WrestleMania, I will beat you, or I will beat you at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he even said it 2 weeks ago. Well, not this last SmackDown, but the SmackDown before last. He goes, "Are you messing with me? I don't know if you're messing with me." He was talking about AJ Styles because AJ Styles wound up teaming up with him in a tag team match that they won. But he basically was kept on messing with him. The other one that I'm interested in, Bobby Roode. Sorry. Bobby Roode got RKO'd last night by the Viper. Just randomly. And I guess he did it on Tuesday too, but last Tuesday too, and I didn't see it. So and being a Randy Orton fan, that's why it intrigues me.
Randy Orton is still young.
Linda, listen.
Linda. Randy Orton's still young, though he's a 13-time world heavyweight champion already at his age, a third, fourth generation superstar. Basically, he's been a jobber for the past couple of years, kind of keeping him in the main event, not necessarily held the title for a few weeks, pulled it away, pushed Jinder Mahal. But Randy Orton is Randy Orton. I'm a fan of Randy Orton's as well. I don't care if he's a heel. I don't care if he's a face.
He can play both.
He can.
And it's very rare right now to have anybody that can do that.
I don't know of anybody else that I can really, right off the top, say.
That current. We're talking current guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Bray Wyatt, maybe. I think Bray Wyatt could play the heel and the face.
Maybe.
Because he's got such a following. That's what I'm saying, is that he's got such a following that no matter what he plays, everyone's going to be following him.
I think Braun Strowman would be good in both situations. I think the best heel/face guy that I remember with the WWE, Triple H, obviously.
Well, yeah.
The only guy that can go both ways and never be questioned. You know, his music hits. I don't care where you're at.
Everyone flips out.
Yeah.
The Rock tried to be a heel and a face. He doesn't do the heel so much. And same thing with Stone Cold.
Yeah. No, he didn't do the heel
you couldn't even he tried to do the he kept doing what?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "All right, dude, you're stupid."
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But
yeah, he was hella dumb.
Yep.
Yeah. The Rock, when he was running heel, I hated him. You know?
Maybe that was the point, I guess. But I'm talking, what our point is that the one that can run both and still have a big following, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's you're right, it's Triple H.
Yeah.
But there just seems to be that they need to have some storylines, and they need to start having them now. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. We're talking about this now. And maybe there are some that I'm missing, but there are still a couple out there that I'm actually enjoying, i.e. what we just talked about. Charlotte Flair is getting beat up by by the Riot Squad, which I call the DC Comics rejects, because you have the version of the Scarecrow, you have the Penguin, and you have the Harley Quinn reject.
Did you really just consider her?
Ruby Riott? Yeah. She looks like the Penguin back when Danny DeVito was the Penguin.
All super pale and...
Yeah, and with the nose and everything. Look, you got the Scarecrow, you got the Penguin, and you have the Harley Quinn reject.
Yes. Yeah.
And it may have been hella dumb, but at the same time, I was on point.
No, you are on point.
But, so she's getting beat up by all these people. Where is our UFC blonde bombshell, who makes an appearance at Royal Rumble, and now all of a sudden we haven't seen her? Ronda Rousey. Where's she been? She comes out, makes an appearance. Do something.
She's on a full schedule contract.
Do something.
Maybe she's not ready.
Be the only thing I'm thinking of.
You know, but if that's the case,
and that's disappointing.
It is disappointing because then you brought her out too early.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing.
And then you ruined Asuka's
Royal Rumble
moment.
Win. Yeah. No,
that's irritating.
It is irritating. You know, you and I used to joke and say, "Hey, this is our weekly soap opera that we watch and we paid attention to." I don't have that soap opera feel to it anymore.
Not right now.
No, I really don't.
And it needs to start soon. Otherwise, you know, like I said, I'm going to be that guy that flips the channel because I'd much rather watch racing, which is around the corner. Oh, by the way, there's baseball right around the corner as well.
Yeah. No.
So they got to do something.
They do have to do something. You know, obviously they have Asuka set up to go with Alexa Bliss for that storyline. That's already been, actually even hasn't even really been determined because Asuka's the only one that hasn't said who she wants to wrestle yet.
It's true.
So
I still highly doubt that she's going to go after, unless they have some sort of big storyline for Ronda Rousey to stay on Raw. I don't see it though.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do? You're just going to kick Asuka to SmackDown?
Maybe she wins and then gets moved to SmackDown. The women's title moves hands. Who knows?
Possible.
Guess what's coming around the corner? What's happening next week?
Pitchers and catchers.
Yeah. We're going to talk about them when we come back right here on 209 Sports.
My name's Rachel, and I'm 10 years old. I like riding my bike, playing soccer, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. My friends will drink, so I will too.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
My parents won't really know what's going on yet. I mean, I'll do okay in school, but when I drink, I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Alcohol affects their judgment and their future. So start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
For more information on teens and alcohol, and to learn what you can do, visit the web at stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Ad Council, and this station.
Want to fight childhood asthma? Then fight it with a scrub brush and a hot soapy towel. Even in the neatest and tidiest homes, if there's so much as a crumb to eat or a drop to drink, household pests like bugs and mice will do all that they can to get it. And they're more than just a nuisance for kids with asthma, because they can actually trigger an asthma attack. So, sweep up crumbs, wipe down tables, scrub dishes before they pile up in the sink, and store leftovers in plastic bags or bowls. Don't leave bugs and mice so much as one tidbit or nibble, and you can stop a childhood asthma attack before it starts. Discover other simple ways to prevent an asthma attack. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS or visit noattacks.org, because no child should feel like a fish out of water. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
Everybody needs clean water, especially Ariel the Little Mermaid and all her friends under the sea.
Flounder, hurry up!
And no matter where you live, what you do above the ocean affects all the living creatures below it.
Scuttle, look what we found!
Human stuff, huh? To keep our oceans clean, recycle and dispose of trash properly.
Isn't it fantastic?
To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org. This has been a message from Environmental Defense, the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, NOAA, and the Ad Council.
I'm Amila Lee, guard for the UOP women's basketball team. You're listening to 209 Sports.
I'm hella dumb. I am so dumb.
You just didn't turn him down, did you?
No, I didn't. That's all right.
And I'm the rookie.
It's late. Both of us got to get up early tomorrow.
Both of us.
Both of us. BOFUS.
Both of us.
Thank you all for tuning in. 209 Sports. I'm JD Jeff Dominic. That is Kyle Hauk. And, this week coming up, I should say, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of great things. Valentine's Day.
Boo. Boo.
Let's see.
Now I'm hella dumb. Anniversary, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you didn't plan this out very much.
Wife's birthday, all within 3 weeks.
You didn't plan this out very well, did you?
No.
But racing, we got racing in a couple weeks. Is that on the 23rd?
No, it's
17th.
Let me look at this.
I think it's the 23rd.
18th.
18th?
Yep.
I'll take your word for it.
February.
Considering that you said that it was, when I said it was about a month and a half away, and you said
a week.
No, it's about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was about a month.
Daytona 500 2018 is February 18th.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you have that coming around the corner, too.
That's like a whole nother Super Bowl.
I know it is. It is. Have you picked your driver yet? I may have to go back to my original, which I've had for a while. I've always liked him. Was Kevin Harvick. I've been a Kevin Harvick fan.
I can't. He drives a Ford now.
I know that's my only problem.
I'm good. No, I'm gonna stick with Chase Elliott or ride Jimmy Johnson's coattails for a little while.
We'll figure it out. We still said that we're going to try and take a look at when we see the rosters come out, we see them race a little bit. I think by that following week, we should have our favorite drivers in place again.
Yeah.
Like, I think that when Dale Earnhardt just retired, everyone was kind of like, I don't know what to go.
Yeah, nobody knew what to do.
What are we going to do? Like, we heard about it for last season, but I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, but there's that. Well, before we get to that, one, for those of you just tuning in, make sure that you go and, if you have an opportunity, watch Gonzaga take on Pacific at the Alex G. Spano Center. Definitely check it out. A completely different team being the Pacific Tigers. Do I feel that they have a chance? Anybody has a chance, especially if you play the way the Tigers play. If you put Gonzaga into making some turnovers, and two, if Gonzaga is going to look over you like you're nothing, don't keep in mind, this is a team that, one, beat BYU this season, has beaten San Diego. They're probably about the 4th or 5th best team in the West Coast Conference this season on a team that has only 8 scholarships available. They're going to have the rest of their scholarships coming back within the next 2 years. I believe they still have 2 years left. This is a team that's they're doing this with a very minimal squad, and they're able to do what they're doing. So, do they have a chance? Yes. The reality is that, and let's put it this way. They beat St. Mary's. St. Mary's handled Gonzaga a few weeks ago and was able to beat them. And yet, they took St. Mary's to where the only reason why St. Mary's won was because, unfortunately, Lafayette Dorsey had shown signs of being a young freshman and passed up a 3, tried to take a 2, and missed it, and that pretty much ended the game.
Yep.
And St. Mary's won by 3. So it is possible. I will say that to start things off. Also, just a little bit of make sure you start watching a little bit of Pacific baseball coming up at the end of this month. Utah Valley should be fun, and I really pushed this one only because I know I'm going to be there. Not just pushing a camera around. I'm going to be on the mic.
Fly ball to right.
Fly ball to right.
And caught.
They don't call him the best
play-by-play announcer for nothing. No.
Oh, they call best analyst or something like that for nothing. I don't know. It's good to see that those college courses are paying off. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Ricky Reynoso, the talented lefty who's improved his ERA by 1, a full run last season.
Wow.
From his freshman to sophomore season, improved from a 5 to a 4. It's going to be the Sunday starter again, it sounds like. He's been named to the preseason All West Coast Conference team. And then you have another kid that was a freshman last season, was one of the tops in average, batting average, home runs, RBIs, pretty much every statistical offensive category. He has been named also to the West Coast Conference All-WCC team for the preseason as well. And I think that he got shafted last year, put him in the second team when he should have been the top catcher last season, possibly even an MVP candidate.
Wow.
Or the All-WCC best overall player. But I digress. I understand why. But with that being said, I'm vented. But my point is that baseball is around the corner. College is starting right now. College starts on the 16th. Officially starts, the baseball season starts officially on the 16th. The weekend of the 16th, I should say.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they'll be in Seattle. I'll be watching. But baseball starts for college, which means, guess what starts for the majors?
Spring training, baby.
Spring training is right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers officially are reporting as of the 14th. They're actually starting on like Valentine's Day or something like that.
Yeah, so
that kind of sucks.
It looks like a majority of the teams throughout the Major League Baseball will be pitchers and catchers will report on the 14th of February. A lot of them are. Some of them are pitchers and catchers report the 15th, and select few will be reporting on the 16th of February. First full squad workouts start anywhere between the 19th and the 21st. So they are. It's go time.
It is.
It's go time.
It's right around the corner. The anticipation's there. I think as a sports fan, I've said this before. I like college basketball. I like college basketball more than I like NBA.
Sure.
And a lot of it is because I'm around it a little bit more. I start to understand it a little bit more, but also the purity that the college basketball brings to me. And even though with everything that's going on, just with all the other rigmarole that's going on,
yeah,
I still kind of go, I like college basketball. I just like the technique and everything that they put out there.
Yeah.
So I still watch NBA. But like this is the month that I really focus on college basketball because you and I we'll make our brackets.
Yeah, we have March Madness coming up.
I'll stomp you like a mud hole and walk it dry.
That's what we do.
But we'll have March Madness, but it also starts to show that baseball is right around the corner, and that's why I think I get extremely excited when especially for this example, the Pacific Tigers, college baseball is right here. We're ready to get that going. And the other reason why I'm excited is it is nice to announce that this will be my second full season with the team.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. This will be my third season with them because I still was I was the majority of 3 seasons ago, but this will be my third, or 2 seasons ago, but this will be my second full season.
Right.
So I'm excited about that.
I think I can go out on a limb and say for both of us, this is, this is where we get. We're passionate about what we're doing now, just being around the sports or all sports. But this is where you and I really kind of start to salivate, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're not big stats numbers guys, but the love of the game per se.
Yeah.
We have our moments, but for the love of the game, for the smell of the grass, the smell of hot dogs coming from the stands.
Yep.
This is our time of year.
This is, and it's like I said. For me, when I know college ball is around the corner, that's when I know that my energy starts to ramp up. Now it starts to kind of slow down because not only that, I'll do this. I'll also have a part with the River Cats as well in working with another radio station. I'll handle all that stuff throughout that week too. That I'm not doing. If I'm not doing Pacific, I'll be over there. It's going to be a very busy time for me around baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But it hit September, and last season it hit September, and I hit that lull. But I think everybody does. September, everyone's just ready for football to start and get going. And I take off. I basically, when it hits September, that month of baseball, I don't pay attention to it because I wait for October.
All right.
But for me, I get excited about baseball because, like I said last season, I think I was close to 190 games of total baseball, not just Pacific, but including Stockton Porch, River Cats, and Modesto Nuts. Nuts. He said nuts. But you add that all together, I do a lot of baseball, and you do say that, well, we're not extremely numbers guys, but when it comes to baseball and the certain teams that I'm around all the time, yeah, I'm big on numbers because I know what everybody, I would say I know almost what everybody did last season for the Pacific Tigers.
Right.
Free was hitting 350, he had 15 home runs, things like that.
Sure.
It's just, where will my numbers come from? I may not be the best at, well, because I'm not a Giants fan, I may not be the best of what, we'll use a new guy, Evan Longoria, is doing.
Okay.
I may not be the best at what McCutcheon's doing.
Okay.
But at the same token, you're not going to be the best at what James is doing. James Free for the Pacific Tigers.
No.
It just kind of hits where we're hit and miss where you're at.
Sure.
And I'll try and be a little bit better at it, but
no, and that's one thing that I've committed to is trying to be better at it.
Mm-hmm.
To
keep the conversations going.
Keep the conversation going. Show my support as far as, this is your passion. This is becoming passionate for me.
Yeah.
And so I've made a commitment already to myself to try and better my view as far as that goes, to make the spots better for both of us. And I know that you've made that same commitment as well, as far as like bringing me along and showing me some of the stuff. And so,
and I know you get, like, for me, I'm always excited about it.
Yeah.
And don't think that I'm never excited about it, because like I know you're just overexcited because this is so new to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always excited to go on air, whether it's doing this with you,
right,
calling a game over or for baseball, soccer, whatever it is. I'm always excited, but I think that my doing this regularly kind of overtakes.
Sure.
And I start to kind of go, okay, it's just another day.
Yeah, it's more of a controlled excitement.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, fired up.
Let's do it!
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So, but yeah, so you got pitchers and catchers coming in. You've got college baseball, which I know you're going to be attending some of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know to what extent are you going to be involved, but who knows? And the main thing is that we all know that coming up, we've got a lot of things coming up for us. I mean, here at 209 Sports, and we may have something going on with wrestling.
Yes.
We've got baseball. We may do a show at Klein Family Field right after that show, or after the game.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Who knows? We don't know yet. We got lots of things in the works that we can't really divulge, but we can at least let a little leak out.
Sure.
So
everything's still in the works.
Nothing ever is truly out there until it's that day of, pretty much, for us.
Or 10 minutes before the game.
Sure. Why not? Half hour. Come on.
My bad.
It's a half hour.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me a question, or you can ask me.
Ask you.
Okay, ask me.
I'm looking at the starting rotation for the Seattle Mariners.
You're gonna ask me a question about the Mariners right now?
Who are these guys?
Well, you have King Felix.
The only one I know is King Felix.
Shoot, dude, I don't know. I haven't even really looked at their
Danny Holtzen?
He pitched in Seattle in Tacoma last year for a little while.
Ronis Elias?
Don't know that one.
Taijuan Walker?
I know that one. He pitched over in, I believe it was either Atlanta, or he was a Arizona Diamondback for a while.
Okay, that's why I know him. And James Paxton?
James Paxton's badass.
Oh, okay.
He's a lefty that throws like 98.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had a good season last season.
I'll have to keep my eye out for him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say, wait, I know that one. I knew there was another one I was missing right off the top.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, no, they've got a okay rotation. King Felix is number 1. Paxton probably be number 2 in all sorts. I would think that Taijuan would probably be maybe a number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And what were my other 2 options?
Ronis Elias.
And?
Danny Holtzen.
I guess Holtzen number 4?
No.
Okay.
Elias is going to be number 4. Danny Holtzen will be number 5. But that's their 5-man rotation.
That's just start of spring training, though.
Yeah, no, I mean,
what are the Giants looking like? Obviously, Mad Bum.
You got Mad Bum. You got Cueto. You got Ty Block. You got the Shark, Jeff Samardzija.
Wow, they put him at 4?
No, they'll probably keep him at 3.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but Ty Block will probably take the 4th spot.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure who they've committed to.
They have like 35 pitchers going to be showing up at the.
They do. And
they got a 40-man roster, and 35 of them are going to be pitchers. It feels like
no, and that's what spring training's for. You know, we need to find out what we got, who we got, and how they're gonna hold up. You know, and
the reason why we kind of go like this because we're going to probably be catching one of the 2 games for the Seattle Mariners and the home opener for the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, not probably. We're going.
We're going to discuss it.
No, we're going.
We're going to discuss it. We got to figure out a lot of things, dude. We can't just sit there and say, yeah, it's going to happen when we still got 2 months to figure it out.
I've been looking forward to this game.
I know, you look forward to a lot of things.
I know.
You know what you still got to look forward to? You got to forward
See how he treats me, people?
You got to look forward to this weekend.
That I do.
You're going to have fun.
Hey, thanks for doing the show tonight.
Hey. Always, dude. Really? You don't really even have to say anything. Just be like, show tonight, and that's about it. You could demand it, question it, I don't care. Anyways, thank you very much for tuning in. This is 209 Sports. He's Kyle Houck. I'm JD Jeff Dominic. See you soon.
Some look up to the man of steel, and others follow lines in the web. But I look up to my real-life icon, my dad, and calling him anything less than great will be misguided. In his warm arms, I confided all of my fears. And as my time to rear others grows near, I'm reminded that women marry men just like their fathers. And I hope that's true. Anything less, might as well not even bother.
A message from the